Hey guys, welcome back to the Human Condition. I want to start off by saying thank you guys again for all the recent support in my videos. I really appreciate it. If you notice a brighter light in this video, it's because I recently got like a ring light that I know a lot of people use. I don't really know if it's gonna make much of a difference, but I figured why not try it out, you know? So let me know down below if you like it or don't like it. I'll go back to the old format with it being less bright in the next video if you guys like it better without the ring light. Let me know and I'll do that for you guys. But yeah, thank you guys again for all the support of my recent videos. The character roles video did a lot better than I thought it was. Before I posted, I'm like, oh dang, this video is not gonna do well. And I was surprised a lot of people liked it, so I really appreciate you guys for watching it. I'll definitely keep trying to do some more character roles, like the protagonist, the deuteragonist, in future videos, and for like different TV shows. And I'll definitely continue to do some brain chemicals, biology for certain characters in TV shows and movies, maybe in the future. I know I do a lot of How I Met Your Mother and Umbrella Academy, just because I have so many different concepts for each show, and then I forget to do other shows, but I'm definitely going to try at some point at least to add some more shows to the collection, so it's not just the same shows every time, you know. So yeah, just let me know if you like those. You guys seem to like those, so I'll definitely keep doing that. But in today's video, it is another psychology video, and it is what is psychodynamics and how does it affect our emotions. So I think this is in this video, I'll be talking about kind of like the last video was behavioralism, the one before that was cognitive, and then obviously the biology videos are physiological. So basically, I'll be just taking my concepts from the one video about the 7 schools of thought, my original one, and be diving deeper into each school of thought. So this one is pretty cool. It's the one I could attribute, at least in my opinion, I could be wrong, about emotions, like deep-rooted emotions. So basically, it would be how we act based on our younger years, like our childhood, I guess, years, you could say, and our relationships with whatever caregivers we had, whether those are parents, mom, dad, or whoever was taking care of us. So it really explains a lot of, and that's why I ranked it in my video where I did the 7 schools of thought. It's not as impactful as like cognitive or behavioralism, because the cognitive is the way you think, and behavioralism's the routines you have based off how you think. But psychodynamics, I ranked it as 4 on the most effective, or the one that affects us the most of school of psychology. And the reason was because it's still, even though it's not as impactful as the way we think, at least in my opinion, or the behaviors we have or the routines we have, it's still the deep emotional part of us that we never really pay attention to. And that's why, and that can honestly change the way that we think. So honestly, it might be more important, but yeah, it can definitely change the way we think. So when I first started making this video, I'm like, oh dang, there's not a lot of theories on it, but it turns out I was just looking up more theories, so I had more well-versed when I was making the video, and it turns out there's a lot of theories about this, the psychodynamic deep emotional states. There's attachment theory, id, ego, superego, conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind, and then I'll add some of my own opinions, which could be wrong, I don't know, and I'll add some of that just to add something unique to the video, like I try to do in each video. So in this one, we'll start off by saying I'll talk about what is the id, the ego, and the superego. So basically, the id, ego, and superego is 3 layers, and you got the superego is your moral conscience, on the shows you got the angel and the bad influence on the one side, and they try to influence your decision making. It's basically that the id, ego, and the superego are the ideas of how we make decisions. Superego are our more moral consciousness, our guilt, our sympathy, our empathy for other people's and their decisions. That would be superego, so that'd be the top. Then you got ego, and then you got id. Id is the gangster. He does whatever he wants. Kind of in the last videos, I talked about dopamine is kind of impulsive, do what I want type of thing. That's our deep-rooted desire of that everyone has of just kind of being like almost self-serving in a way. But luckily we all have super ego to help keep us balanced. So that's id. And then ego is the internal conflict we all go through each day, deciding our growth or letting someone else grow for themselves. And that's a constant conflict we all have. I feel like, I could be wrong, but we always have conflict between growth and comfort. And I feel like the id, the ego, and the superego is a good idea, like a good concept of explaining that. Like, we all want to grow, and that comes from our like internal desires. We can't all just listen to our id, or like it'd be anarchy. Superego helps us maintain like a good morality, but a lot of theorists warn that you can't become too superego oriented, like morality oriented. It's obviously good to be morality because it'll make you almost depressed because you're never going after your own desires and your own goals. So that's kind of interesting thought. So too much superego can be bad, and too much id obviously is bad. Honestly, the only one that's kind of good is ego itself in the three, because it balances out. How am I going to take my desires and turn them constructively to achieve them instead of rushing into it? A good example of this would be, like, let's say there's an ice cream stand and you want ice cream and you're hungry, and your internal desire is like, I'm hungry, like I want ice cream. And then it's like the ice cream can cost $5 and your super ego is like, I don't really need the ice cream. Anyway, this my friend next to me seems like he wants it more. Maybe I can buy it for him. Two very opposite things. Deep down, you want the ice cream, but morally, you're like, I don't even need it. I can just be a good person. I don't need my own desires, and that's the confliction. The ego is the rational side. Like, obviously, if you want something, you should at least try to achieve it, but be mindful of how you go about it, I guess. Don't like rush into it. Like, don't steal the ice cream. Full id would be stealing the ice cream. Full super ego is be like, deny my own desires. I'm gonna, instead of almost like reaction formation, a defense mechanism, it's like doing the opposite of what you want to do, and it'd be like, or passive aggressive sort of, but like more reaction formation, like doing the opposite of wanting to do. I want this for myself so badly, but I don't want to. I want to be moral, so I'm going to give it to someone else instead. And I'm going to do that all the time. And that obviously can make you sometimes upset because you're never actually achieving your own goals every once in a while. The next concept I'd probably talk about is a new one, a pretty lit one I just found out about that falls under psychodynamics, and that is attachment styles. And I originally in this video I was just going to talk about briefly about it, my opinion on like attachment styles, but I didn't know there was actually a theory behind it too that explained it even better. So my just quick thing about it is, a lot of times in life, our personalities and core beliefs are like developed in childhood. So the relationship, and that's basically happens based on the relationship with our caregivers and our mom and dad, or just whoever our caregiver is. So typically, one thing I've noticed, and then which is probably like a psychological thing, is that if you have a good relationship with your caregivers, you will take on that ideology pretty easily, and that almost become your own ideology and your own opinions, because you get along with this person. Why not agree with what they agree with? On the exact opposite end, if you don't agree with someone, like if you didn't get along with a caregiver or parent, like mom or dad, you might try to differentiate yourself from that person. Meaning, your personality might be exactly opposite from them, even though you don't even disagree 100% with them, which is it's crazy how to think about that. Like, even if you don't disagree with them, you're just to be, because you didn't get along with them a ton, you'll differentiate from them. So it's a pretty cool, interesting psychology thing. Just because their idea, you'd be like, oh, that's a good idea, but we didn't like get along well, get together, I'm just gonna be completely different. That can happen. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I think that happens a lot in psychology. But with attachment styles, you can, there's 4 types that are, there is secure, dismissive avoidant, fearfully avoidant, and anxiously resistant, I think. Don't quote me on that last one. But secure means you're not the opposite of insecure. You're very open, not very anxious, and you're like an open book. You express yourself freely. Anxiously resistant means you're very close with certain friends and you're afraid of them leaving you. You might have some abandonment fears, and you're just really afraid of them leaving you, or just being open to new people. Dismissive avoidant means you're almost secure in yourself, but you're not secure enough to express yourself. You just kind of like stay by yourself most of the time and try to avoid deep intimacy, whether that be friendships or relationships. And then the final one would be fearfully avoidant. And it's like you don't want to be avoidant. Like you want intimacy, like friendships and relationships, but you're afraid of rejection. So you have a pattern of withdrawing from relationships, like reaching out to people, hanging out with them a while, withdrawing, reaching out to people, hanging out with them for a while, withdrawing. And that's at least how I took it. I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. I'm like, I feel like a lot of people can relate to these 4 things. I know which one I'm probably, honestly, if I'm being honest, probably avoidant, fearfully avoidant, the last one. Really reach out, hang out for a while, then I'm like, I'm gonna back away, reach out. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, pretty lit, pretty cool. I didn't know that was a thing until recently, so I was like, I definitely gotta share that. The other ones are the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind. And the founder of like Psychodynamics is considered Sigmund Freud, or psychoanalytics. And he believed most of our thoughts came from our unconscious feelings. So I guess honestly, I know I ranked cognitive like higher as affecting our decisions because it's what we think. But honestly, I guess if it's based off what we feel, then honestly I should have gave psychodynamics a little bit higher up there. But basically, our unconscious thoughts are basically things we don't even think about. We just are that way because of our past. And it takes a while of deep reflection to figure out what our unconscious desires are and why we have those desires. One thing I believe, just personally, is that people desire what they have the least. People desire the most what they have the least. So, for example, if you're young and you travel a lot with your family, you might not travel as much when you're older because you already feel content in that way. Whereas when you're older, if you feel like, we didn't travel as much, you might travel a ton. That's makes sense. I think that I could be wrong about that. But one of my philosophies is people desire the most what they have the least. That's why a lot of like wealthy people don't like always. I mean, sometimes they obviously seek more wealth, but a lot of times to feel more meaning, they do other things like donate more, which is awesome. Sometimes they join politics, wealthy people, because they want to feel like they're making like a big impact and stuff. And that's part of the reason is because they don't need more wealth. They already feel content, you know? So that's one thing that people do is whatever they feel like they have the least of, they're always going to try to get more of that because there's no need to get more of what you already have a lot of, I guess, in a roundabout way. So those are mainly all the things of psychodynamics I really thought of. I thought about, defense mechanisms are really cool. And when I was first heard about like some of the defense mechanisms, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I do these all the time, especially like reaction formation and intellectualization, where it's like you just avoid your feelings and try to rationalize things. Kind of like rationalization, but more like instead of feeling how you feel, you're like try to figure out the logical reason why you feel the way you feel. So and try to like explain it away. But so let me know if you guys would want to see one on defense mechanisms. I think that'd be a really cool video to do. Let me know if you like the new lighting. Honestly, if I'm being honest, it kind of distracted me a little bit, so I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I'll definitely keep the ring light if you guys liked it better. Yeah, so this is my video on psychodynamics and what is psychodynamics and how does it affect our emotions. And basically how it affects our emotions is it's our unconscious feelings based on past childhood development stages, and then we have them into our future. And the only way, and the reason I ranked psychodynamics very high, is the only way we can truly grow is if we accept our emotions and move forward instead of living in like denial and regret for things that happened. If we accept them as even the good and the bad, because don't get me wrong, there can be good things that you had that made you into the person you are. If we accept the good and the bad from our emotions, and we really dive deep, we can resolve a lot of things, and it kind of shows a lot of the struggles in your life is not all from it, but a lot of recurring struggles can be resolved once we figure out what our deep emotional reasons behind doing what we do are. So I think that's why psychodynamics is really important. I also forgot to talk about the psychosexual development, but I might do another, since this video seems kind of long, I might do another video on that. So again, I hope you guys like this video. I felt a little distracted by the ring light, if I'm being honest, but I think it's really cool. So yeah, so but next video will probably be a philosophy video, and that will be I'm not sure yet what that would be, but that should be a really interesting one. I want to say always as disclaimer, if I say anything controversial or hurt your feelings, I'm sorry, I take it back. Yeah, I hope you guys like this video. As always, like and subscribe if you want. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.